Momen 2.4.0 is here. Let's see what's new. We've added two AI copilots in the editor, the data binding and action flow code block copilots. Data binding copilot. Add a text component to bind content. Use this copilot to help bind it. It's right next to the input box. This copilot can get the context of this component, including its sibling components, parent component, and the data sources it can bind to, etc. It bound the current user's username. Let's do another experiment. For example, I'll take a button, I'll take an input box, and then I'll add an action to the button. I will update the account. For instance, I want to bind data to this username. My intent is clear with this input box. It's easy to deduce that I want to bind the value of this input box to the username. Let's try it. Okay, it's bound to the input box. With clear component intent, it precisely infers bindings. The next copilot we will cover is the action flow copilot. Coding was hard for non-programmers. We've added a copilot. This copilot can also access the context of the code block node, including its input and output parameters. Let's do an example. I'll write an MD5 encryption program to test it. I'll first add an input parameter. Let's call it text_input. Then moving on to the input after encryption, let's set the value to ABC just for this example. Next, for the output section, go ahead and add an output parameter called result. Once that is done, I can directly tell Copilot, for example, to write an MD5 encryption program. Then it can write it for you. Writing code is more complex compared to data binding earlier, so it takes a bit longer. We need to wait patiently. And during this waiting process, don't switch away, because once you switch to somewhere else and come back, your current task will be lost and you won't be able to find it. So just wait patiently for about 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, the program is written. Once written, we can copy this code and paste it in here. Without a coding background, verifying this program is very difficult. We just check its input parameters. If its output parameters are correct, we actually run it to verify the result. That's the only way. For the output, I'll use our data binding copilot. Then I'll add the output parameter to text_input. Change ABC to the input. Input data text_input. Correct. Add a button and input box. Call action flow. First, I'll bind an action to this button, action flow, then use Copilot to help bind this input parameter data. Let's change the action flow text to. Okay. Show the output. We can use a toast notification to display it. Actually, a toast might not be the best choice. Let's switch to a modal instead. The title will be result, and I'll let it automatically bind the content for me. Okay, these smart bindings are very accurate. Using this Copilot to bind data saves a lot of manual operations. I will update the backend now. Let's run it. For example, encrypting 123 looks like this. Check online. Now I 123. Okay, it looks like this. And let's check our actual running results. You can see it's correct. It's correct. This shows the program is correct. So the demonstration of this feature ends here. Next, let's look at action flow. We added a few nodes. The first one uses the Gemini-Veo 3.1 node to generate high quality videos. Additionally, we have added a brand new node to save files to our system, which saves your external files directly into the system storage. You can save external images, external videos, or other external files, and so on. Previously, this was implemented using specific functions within code blocks, and this time we turned it into a node, which makes it much more convenient. Next, database management. First, in our data management backend, we added a feature to view the table's total data volume. It's this total. After clicking it, you can see the total records in this table. It's a quick way to view it. Another addition is the full cleanup feature. It's used to reclaim your database space. Click vacuum full in the data model, then confirm. Because during the full cleanup, you cannot modify or add data to this table. So we highly recommend that you choose a time when fewer people are using your project to perform this cleanup. But don't worry, it will be cleaned up very quickly. After cleaning up, you can go back and see if your project space has changed. Database, and since database usage refreshes at a set time daily, the space freed by my cleanup won't reflect here in real time. Now we can click refresh, which is also a new feature we added this time. Check this after refreshing. Of course, because mine is a newly created project with very little data in it, there wasn't much change after my cleanup. Next, user experience. AI now supports PDF input, but only for Gemini. For example, when creating an AI and adding an input, select File, upload it. This PDF is automatically placed at the end of your prompt. Next, our AI Copilot interface now lets you freely drag and resize it. This is the Copilot. Previously, it was fixed on the right, blocking the panel and your operations. Now it can be dragged and you can adjust its size. The next update is the permissions update. First, an update to clone permissions. Previously, cloning depended on your role in the project. Only editors and above could clone. With this new update, when sharing a project, you now have the ability to specify whether the recipient is allowed to clone it. You can configure this permission directly from here, making it much more convenient. Next is the permission update for row level security. It's in permissions right here. We changed the name to make it easier to understand its meaning. The next update is additionally for periodic payment action flows, we have added more branches this time. Stripe subscription cancellation has changed. Instead of canceling immediately, it now cancels at the end of the period, which is more reasonable. Then some other major updates are that web project publishing can only be published for paid projects. Free projects can no longer be published. We upgraded the storage pack. A pack increased from 1 GB to 10 GB at the same price.